Hey guys, Steve Morales here, and today I have a video review for Onnit's Alpha Brains. Now this is the new instant mix. This has previously been just in a pill form. I'm not a huge pill taker. I don't like taking it, so when they came out with this, definitely had to try it. This isn't my first experience with neurotropics, which is what this is, but definitely with their product, and I like it. I actually really enjoyed it. I've had some friends that have actually tried it too, and that have experienced some results. I haven't had anybody that's really just tried it, especially the Instamix, that said they've had a huge response to it. But I definitely enjoy it. And what I do like is the fact that Onnit itself went ahead and found some researchers to test their product and to see if there was any results or if there was any impact from taking this stuff. Now, if you want to look at as far as the ingredients and all that other stuff, there's a link in the description below that you can follow to the Onnit page and you can look at all that stuff. But I mean, the big one is the L-tyrosine, the L-theanine, and then the GPC. These are all just stimulating your brain. So with like tyrosine, though, you'll find this in a lot of the different energy drinks out there. So they'll put this in there just because they're basically throwing caffeine at you and this to get your brain kind of working. But with this one, the Memory Clinic is the place that did the study. It was 18 to 35-year-olds. Now, if you look on the website, they have a couple different studies, at least that I could find on there. And I looked through 2 or 3 of them. And double-blind placebos, kind of the gold standard if you're going to look for any information on a study. That means that the researchers and the people that were participating in the study didn't know whether or not they were getting a placebo or not. And what they found with both of these studies was an increase, a noticeable increase. And they look at this, when you look at any research study, they'll go by a p-value, which just means that there's been enough of a change that it's significant. And with these 2 studies, there was enough of a change that it was actually significant. And the main category was memory recall. They basically had them memorize some words and then they had to recall them again later, and they actually showed an increase being on Alpha Brain. And I mean, that's kind of what they promote this as too. It's shown to help support memory and focus. That's on the front of the box here, and I can definitely attest to that. It seems like words, and Joe Rogan, the comedian and the announcer for MMA, the UFC stuff, if you've seen him before, he's actually an Onnit member. He's a sponsored member. And I don't know if he's part owner or not, but he talks about their products all the time, and he loves the Alpha Brain. He boasts about how words just are much clearer and they come to him with greater ease. And instead of forgetting words, they just pop right into his brain. And that's one of the things that I noticed being on the product. But the problem with the studies that they did do, the one thing I do want to talk about real quick is the fact that it was a small sample size, and they actually talk about this at the end of the study. Now, super awesome that they did the double-blind placebo. It was somebody that wasn't affiliated with the company. It's not like they paid them to have good results. They just were like, hey, we're going to put what we find out there, good or bad, and Onnit was like, all right. And both of these studies that I looked at actually showed that there was an increase in this memory recall. And when trying to describe it to people as far as the effects that I felt, now I did this for 25 days straight, and then I actually kind of toyed with the last 5 days just to see if there's a difference with timing, whether or not I took it with another product, because they recommend that you take this in the morning on an empty stomach, but I kind of toyed around with that step just to see if there was a difference. But like I said, I actually did feel an increase. It's kind of like taking a cup of coffee without the crash. That's the way I describe it to people when they ask about the product. I mean, I felt that alert, that awake, that energy, that focus, but I didn't crash down from that like you will if you take a lot of caffeine, which you'll find in pre-workouts. And I mean, if you're drinking coffee or anything like that. So if you're like a 1 coffee in the morning type of person, you could replace it with this. And if you're somebody that's taking multiple cups of coffee, you could almost wean yourself off if you're trying to get off caffeine with this product, just because it's kind of helping that crash that you're going to experience once you just completely stop taking caffeine. So like I said, definitely like the product. Verbal recall, like I said, with the studies is what they experienced, and then they also experienced executive function increase. So they were better able to make quick executive decisions. My hope is that they actually do more studies with this, because I mean neurotropics are kind of a newer thing, a new thing that you're hearing about, but I'm hoping that they actually do larger scale studies, because a lot of times with these small studies you can't extrapolate that and then just apply that to the general public. So hopefully they keep pushing on that, but I do appreciate the fact that Onnit is willing to put themselves out there and have their product tested. Sweetened with stevia, which I like. They have some other stuff in here that I don't really like though. Maltodextrin, that just means that they're trying to make this into a really powdery form. Not a huge fan of maltodextrin though. But the taste, this one is peach. I don't mind the taste. It's not packed with a ton of sucralose, so it's not just incredibly sweet, but it's sweet enough that I have no problem drinking this stuff. Now, as far as the last 5 days when I was toying around with it, the big thing that I was experimenting with was if I combined it with branched chain amino acids, if there was any effect or any change. And I didn't notice anything. What I did notice is coming off of it. And this is usually how I determine whether or not something has made an impact on my body, is I'll do 25-30 days, and this is what I recommend to clients, and then you just stop taking the product and then see how you feel off of it. And I could tell a pretty big difference in the 3 days that I was off the product. I started to notice just dragging a little bit more. I was a little bit more tired throughout the day. Especially, I mean, I already take caffeine. I do take pre-workouts. I've done some video reviews for those. And I've noticed that the crash is a little bit more. I don't have a huge crash, but I do notice like a slight crash with not being on the product anymore, where I didn't really feel that before. I mean, I felt level the whole day, which was really, really good. And what they do promote on the website too is the fact that these are going to accumulate in your body more and more and more. So the more consistent you are with taking this, the more you should notice it. Now, I just did the 25-day, like I said, and then I sparsed out the last 5 days so I could toy around with it a little bit. So I can't really attest to taking it for a couple months and then say that, yeah, it was more effective at the end of like a 3-month run compared to the first month. But within the first month, I definitely saw an improvement. Now, this is where it's kind of one of those deals where, I mean, I definitely recommend trying the product, but as far as whether or not it's something that you're going to shell out, I believe this cost me with shipping like $55. There's an ad that I saw that I got a discount through Onnit, and then I ended up, I mean, you pay for shipping and all of that, but roughly, let's say $50 to $55, if it's going to be worth that for the month, and continually to do that, whether or not it's going to be worth it. I would say if it was a little bit cheaper, I would definitely do it consistently. I'm definitely going to do another run on this. I want to take a month off and then do another month and then see how it goes, especially like I said, kind of calming down and then ramping back up and seeing whether or not I experienced any effect, or whether or not, like I said, it was just all in my head, and whether or not it was a placebo effect. Just because right off the bat you look at this and you're like, all right, it's supposed to improve memory and focus, and then maybe, like I said, it could just be, and the placebo effect is very, very real. Like I said, maybe it's just all in your head. But for anybody that's interested in just, I mean, the worst thing, like I said, try it. If you like it, you just keep doing it. If you don't, then, I mean, at least you tried it and you gave it a shot. And I definitely recommend it. I know there's some other neurotropic products out there that I'm going to be toying around with a little bit. I think this is kind of the new wave of things that you'll be seeing over the next 5 to 10 years, is everybody's going to be putting a little bit of neurotropics in their stuff. I actually see it in the pre-gym that I take. I actually have that. And he did a little video on his as well, because there's some neurotropics in his as well. Kona coffee, I believe, or Coda coffee is another one that they put neurotropics in theirs as well. So if you want to try any of those other products, I'll have those listed down below also. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please do that below. And like I said, definitely recommend the product. Like I said, give it a try. I love all the other stuff for Onnit. I'm definitely going to be trying some of their other products and then doing some video reviews. So this is Steve from Rouse. Thanks for watching.